Ladies and gentlemen, I am Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran, and today we are taking a look at some leaked footage of Ukrainian soldiers defending the villages in Luhansk province. And the fighting is brutal. Let's take a look, and I'll break down just what we're talking about. So this comes to us from The Sun, who of course got it from the Ukrainian National Guard via Newsflash. And as you can see, what we're looking at here is just how devastated some of this area is. Now this looks like it's probably from earlier. You can see there's snow on the ground, so this might be footage from a couple months ago. As you guys know, it's currently July, so even in Ukraine it is firmly into the summer. Okay, all right, let's see. So we just saw, I'm going to give you guys context of what we're looking at here. So this looks like a POV of a Ukrainian armored vehicle of some kind engaging what's maybe a Russian tank approaching. Okay, so there's a Ukrainian tank. We've got, this looks like almost, I think this is an American 155 howitzer. If you've been following this conflict at all, you know that cyber attacks, scammers, and malicious actors are everywhere on the internet. Even my own comment section has lots of accounts that don't seem to be very authentic. You would be crazy to not take your security online seriously in 2022. That's why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge sale. You can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.83 a month, with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the description. Atlas VPN is one of the best deals for a VPN. Your single subscription gets you unlimited device protection, speeds fast enough to handle gaming and streaming, and it blocks malicious links, ads, trackers, and notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. Atlas VPN is easy to use. Just open up the app, turn on the VPN, and select your country. Voila, you're browsing from another location. You'll be able to see price deals that are only available in select locations, like deals on subscriptions, hotels, airlines. You can also access geo-restricted content on services like Hulu and Disney+. Trust more than 6 million other Atlas VPN users worldwide. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge sale. Get a 3-year subscription for just $1.83 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so click the link in the description below. Okay, so this is really interesting. Let's back this up a couple frames. This is probably one of the more annoying ones, right? So you can see this is a Ukrainian soldier. He is actually in a good position, right? He is preparing to engage with an anti-armor weapon. He's got it on his shoulder. I like that he's set back from the window a ways, and this is useful because the closer you get to the window, the easier it is for someone outside the window to see you. Just like when you turn your light off and it's day outside, your room looks even darker to a person on the outside. Similarly, if you are set back from the window and it's bright outside, it's going to be quite a bit harder for the enemy to see you before you fire your weapon. Also, of course, if you get close to the window, someone to the side can literally see the barrel of the weapon or you yourself through the window. So you want to be offset a little bit. This is a great tactic. Now, what he doesn't do, because idiot friend is filming, is call backblast area clear, especially indoors. Remember, this is a rocket projectile, so it's going to activate and it's going to blow back that engine, so to speak. The propellant is going to start to burn to propel that charge forward. So you don't want someone directly behind you. You can actually kill someone if they are directly behind you while you fire this weapon. So you really don't want them there. And that's exactly where the cameraman is standing. And there you go. It literally, right, looks like the camera got hit with the warhead, not the target outside the building. But in fact, that's just how powerful that blast is. And here's even more annoying. This dude has eye protection. He's just not wearing it. So he's just lucky. And one of the things that I always complain about, and you guys have heard me complain about it ad nauseum, is the number one dumbest reason to lose a combat soldier is because they got a little piece of dust in their eye. But you saw how fast that was moving. All it would take is a little piece of dust kicked up and hitting your eye just right, and you actually will be out of the fight. Right? You'll have to go to the rear, you have to get surgery on your eye, you'll have to rehab it, all because you literally didn't put your ballistic goggles down because you thought they looked silly. He has ballistic goggles. Just put them on your face. Okay, this is cool. Yes, this is, you can see this is an up-armored vehicle, some sort of mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicle. I don't know if it's a US MRAP per se. It looks like it probably is one of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense's indigenous homemade vehicles, but you can see this turret up top is doing exactly what these vehicles are so great for. When I was in Afghanistan, they were just exactly this. Elevated support by fire platforms. Look at how protected that gunner is. We can't even really see the gunner, but he's putting 50 cal rounds down range. This driver and the commander of the truck is very smart. You see they're using this wall as an additional cover so that their gunner is looking over it. These vehicles can be great support for infantry because you can see this is a pretty narrow road here. This isn't like super accessible terrain, but this vehicle can still come in and provide support by fire. And trust me, when you're light infantry maneuvering, you want something like this nearby, just putting a little bit punchier rounds than you would otherwise get. Okay, this, I'm not actually sure what this is. It seems really cool, but it's firing in the evening, and it looks like it's firing way up and over. It's almost being used like an indirect fire weapon. So I'm not sure what is going on here. It may be that it's, well, being used as an indirect fire weapon. It may literally be shooting targets 3 or 4 kilometers away, relying on a huge bullet arc. If anyone in the comments has any insight, I've not really seen a weapon like this before. Okay, this is another example of a great fighting position. You notice that, again, these guys are using this wall here. They've dug in a lot. I mean, look, so this soldier's rifle is just above this line of dirt. His battle buddy here is off to the side with a slightly different angle, but they have a great field of fire here. Presumably, their target is right on the outside of it. And these are just great defensive positions. They really are. And look at how hard it would be to have anything. You have to shoot through the wall, right? You have to get low enough that you see the soldiers' heads, but high enough that you don't just land in this big chunk of dirt. It's a great fighting position. And like we talked about, they're offset from this wall so that they themselves can't be ambushed from the sides. It's a really strong defensive position, and it's something that, again, can let just 2 soldiers with enough weapons and ammunition really hold out for a long time. They also, I want to point out, we're doing a good job of letting the guns talk a little bit, and that is a term where you notice how one's firing, then the other fires, one fires, then the other fires in little bursts. This is a way to ensure that to the enemy, there's constant fire coming in. But if you fire for too long, the actual barrels can start to melt on your weapons. You burn ammo really quickly. So you want to try your best to find this pace to keep the enemy suppressed, but give your weapons a chance to cool off, even just for a second or two. There's your N-log going off. And, yep, also smart. If you've got to expose yourself to line up a shot, get out of there quickly. You can see Ukrainian forces, if you've lasted this long in the war, the experience level is climbing and climbing, and those experienced soldiers have a lot of really relevant experience. So this is also interesting. It looks like it is a Humvee, looks like a US-made Humvee with the shields, but it's doing what it was meant to do, which Humvees were never meant to be frontline combat vehicles. They were always meant to be kind of rear area vehicles to, you're going to see it here in a second. This one is towing an artillery piece. Some of them are ambulances that ferry troops to and from the front lines, but for a rear area vehicle, a Humvee like that is perfect. Some light armor, a turret to defend itself, and the ability to just go down some rougher roads, but they're not really meant to be frontline vehicles. So you can see, I mean, just the devastation that this war has brought to Ukraine. I mean, just look at this. Imagine if this was your home, right? Imagine if this was your parents' like village or town. Just devastating. Okay, this is actually fun. This I like. One of the things that you don't appreciate is that getting good food, getting hot food is such a treat in combat. And when you can make it happen, it's awesome. We used to, even on patrols, we would sometimes buy food from local villagers who we sort of trusted, and would just get lunch kind of on patrol. Obviously, we wouldn't stop and eat it. We'd get the lunch, pay, grab, and go. But just having hot, fresh food is such a treat, right? And you can see just how devastated this whole region is. But soldiers always find a way. If there's a way to make hot food, man, they will do it. And shout out to his buddy for doing the right thing and pulling security, watching out that window while his friend makes food. Trust me, it may seem ridiculous. It's not. That the morale of just getting one hot meal, man, that will keep you going for like the next like 2 days when times are tough. So it's absolutely worth it to be making that hot meal, even if it means your buddy has to pull security. Again, this looks like earlier in the war, you've got the snow everywhere, but just an insane amount of devastation, truly. Just preposterous how destroyed these buildings are. I mean, look at this. Just imagine, man. Imagine if that was your apartment complex, your house. Just unreal. This is like an unsustainably brutal war. Like, there's no way it can go on with this level of devastation for years. Like, both sides are just burning out too many people, too much of their economy. And here's the tragedy, man, with some of these wars. It's like, look at who's being lost. It's young, healthy men. It's future economic contributors. And like, war takes them not only out of the workforce, but mentally, physically, often destroys them. So someone who might have been, say, your country's next Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, right? Imagine them getting horrible PTSD and being unable to work or work with others. Imagine them being wounded or killed, right? It's a tremendous loss for the country when you have this level of personal destruction. And not to mention all the facilities, right? Some doctors got their some future doctor just had their college blown up, you know? Some future surgeon had their hospital destroyed. So, yeah, you want to see them win, but you want to see this war end. And yeah, this is like an anti-aircraft gun. We got some tanks. You know, this is, oh yeah, it's an anti-aircraft gun. So anyway, guys, this has been a really interesting look. I hope you guys understand. Just, it's good to sometimes remind ourselves that we look at cool videos, we look at things blowing up, but we forget that ultimately this is a war of people and of people's lives and their homes. And when we look at these crazy videos and we do military analysis, sometimes we forget just the scale of devastation that's happening here. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you guys in the next one.